Welcome back to China Economy and Society. Today I want to discuss how can Europe protect its own company from predatory mergers and acquisition activity conducted by foreign entities, and in particular, because this is hot topic these days, by Chinese companies. Before getting into that, just to clarify definition, when we say FDI, foreign direct investment, normally we mean a number of things. To make it simple, one is traditional M&A. M&A is whereby we have a company B, that is acquired by a new company, let's say a Chinese company, that acquires share capital of company B. Let's say this company is based in Italy. Target company is Italian, acquire is Chinese. The objective of the Chinese buyer is to acquire 100% of the share capital of company B. What happens in this type of transaction? This type of transaction, it's just simply an exchange of share ownership between the old shareholder and the new. In this case, the old shareholder from 100% brings its ownership to 0 and transfers its shares to the new owner. The second type of FDI is what I call it greenfield. And this is whereby a company A, instead of doing an acquisition, does not really acquire anything. It just invests. It opens a new production facility, a new plant, and it brings 3 important benefits to the host country. The first one is indeed the new capital. The second one is jobs. And the third one is market entry. New capital, because we have money coming in this case from China to Italy. New jobs, because the new production facility needs new people to work. And the third and important, maybe subtle, is hopefully the new owner allows the product of company B to be sold more easily into the Chinese market. So these are the 3 main advantages of this type of, let's say, investment. Now, we want to make sure that the creation of value is not all in the hands of the new buyer, but is shared between the new buyer and the old shareholders. And so I propose what I call it, if you allow me humbly, the Geraci plan, which is my idea of how we in the European Union should manage this acquisition. And it's a 3-step approach. At first step, we allow the Chinese entity to purchase stakes in the Italian targets up to 30% of the equity. And so instead of having 100%, what happens is the Chinese shareholder has 30%, and the Italian old shareholders maintains its 70%. That's at time 1. After a few years, a few months, we go to step 2. What do we do step 2? We do a verification process. So we verify that indeed the new owner has brought new capital to the host country, has created new jobs, and that indeed more and more products from company B made in the host country are sold into the new market. So we check the market entry condition. If this verification process is okay, then in step 3, we allow the new owner to increase its stake by a certain percentage, let's say an additional 10%. And so the ownership of the Chinese entity goes up to 40, and the ownership of the old shareholder goes down to 60. What do we do now? We let time pass again. The process is iterative. So we go back to verify. Has new capital been brought into the country? Have new jobs been created? Has the market been more and more open? If yes, we do another plus. We go another 10%, and we make this go up to 50%, and so on. This goes down to 50. If we do this n times, we reach the final goal, the steady state, where the Chinese new owner has finally reached its 100% ownership and the Italian old shareholders has finally sold all his shares to the new owner. The result is the same as if this was an outright acquisition. But by doing this, we allow promises of creating new jobs, of opening up the market, and to bring new capital. We make sure that this promise from words become reality. And when the reality is verified, and only then we allow this incremental stake increase. I conclude with one example. Let's say Great Wall, purely hypothetical, would like to purchase Fiat, Italian auto manufacturer. So what do? We allow Great Wall to first have a 30% stake in Fiat. Then we verify, let's choose one. Let's verify market entry. Let's decide, let's put a number. Let's say that we want 1 million new cars, new Fiat cars sold in China, increment of 1 million new cars. If that is indeed the case, then we allow Great Wall to go up to 40%. After a few years, a few months, we check again. Has Fiat increased sales by another million? So do Fiat cars now sales are 2 million per year in China? If yes, Great Wall goes to 50, and so on. So you see, this is a way that tries to make the Chinese buyer achieve its ultimate goal, which is that of owning 100% of the big company. But it is also a way to make sure that the value creation over time is not all in the hands of the new owner, but is also shared by the old shareholder that continues to participate in the value creation process, little by little, in a decreasing stages from its 100% down to 0. But by doing this, at least the old shareholder does not exit immediately, but continues to be part of this. Win-win situation. New capital, shareholders and companies happy. New market entry, great for the products of the company. New jobs, politicians are happy. Everyone wins. The problem now is to try to find ways to legally regulate this cap at 30% and introduce what I call it the step-up clause into all M&A transactions. Step-up clause, meaning that we can go up by X% for any verification of any of these entities. And on the other hand, we also have to persuade the Chinese counterparts that they will indeed get 100%, because this is what's written in the acquisition contract, but they just need to make sure that their promises turn into reality. And if that's the case, everyone wins. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm now covered with words and formulas. I hope it's not too complex, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.